Hi there, I'm Alayna. It's been 5 long years since I left my family to follow my dreams of becoming a star. Let me tell you my story, and you can decide if I should forgive my father and stepmother and help pay for my half-siblings' schooling. I grew up in the Blue Mountain area of a small village in Jamaica. When I was 7, my mother died. After she passed away, my father, Thomas, married my mother's best friend, Evangeline. She was a strict woman who didn't like me much. My father and Evangeline had 2 children together, Andrew and Marie. They lived in a big new house, but I had to live in the old, run-down house where my mother used to live. I was only allowed in the new house to cook, clean, and take care of my half-siblings. Before my mother's death, she would often play the guitar while I sang under the mango tree in our front yard. After losing her, I found solace in music, which became my escape from the pain and loneliness. Despite my stepmother's relentless demands, I would sneak away during chores to play my guitar for a few precious minutes. This secret practice brought me peace, even as I hurried back to avoid being caught. One day, however, my stepmother discovered me.
Alayna, stop that singing and get to your chores! You need to be useful around here.
As I hurried off in fear, I rushed into the kitchen to start preparing lunch. I felt my stepmother's gaze upon me, sharp and disapproving. My 2 younger siblings, Andrew and Marie, sat impatiently at the table, waiting for their meal. A smile flashed across my face as a tune that I couldn't get out of my thoughts played in my head. I started humming softly. The melody filled the kitchen, wrapping around me like a comforting hug. It made the time spent doing tasks and chores pass by faster, and for a moment I felt a small spark of joy amidst the daily grind. That evening, while trying to rest after a long day of chores, I heard my father's voice echoing through the house.
Alayna, where are you?
I sighed, exhaustion weighing heavily on me, but I pushed myself up from the bed. My brief moment of rest was over. With a heavy heart, I made my way to where his voice was coming from, knowing there were still more tasks awaiting me. As I approached my father, ready to be told my next chore, he ordered.
Alayna, make sure you have dinner ready by 6. Your stepmother and I have important guests tonight. The firewood needs to be chopped for tomorrow, and make sure the animals are fed before you go to bed.
I nodded silently, turning away to complete the tasks. The weight of the day's labor pressed on me, but I knew there would be no rest until everything was done. After I completed all the tasks my father ordered me to do, I hurried off to my mother's old home, seeking some peace and rest. But just as I approached the door, my younger sister rushed to me, breathless and anxious.
Alayna, Mom wants you to help Andrew and I get ready for the party at our house.
I sighed inwardly, my moment of respite slipping away. "All right," I said with a forced smile, trying to hide my disappointment. "I'll be there in a moment." Turning back towards the new house, I braced myself for more chores, knowing that my escape to the old home, where memories of my mother lingered, would have to wait. This continued for years until I turned 17. I had become nothing more than a maid in my father's home, and he stood by silently, complicit in the mistreatment. Instead of protecting me, he sometimes even joined in, adding to the harsh words and neglect. My younger siblings, Marie and Andrew, followed in their parents' footsteps. They mocked and ridiculed me at every opportunity, encouraged by their mother's disdain and sharp words. It felt like her hatred was suffocating the music out of me. They started calling me the singing fool, a name that cut deep every time I heard it. Despite the pain, music and my guitar became my escape. Through melodies and lyrics, I found solace and a way to drown out their hurtful words. It was the one thing they couldn't take away from me, no matter how hard they tried. Whenever I felt sad, I would go to the old mango tree by the old house. There, I would sing and play my guitar, dreaming of a day when I could leave the village and become a star. Under this mango tree, I feel free. One day, I'll sing on big stages and people will love my music. One day, a young man named Marcus heard me singing under the mango tree. He was visiting from the city and was amazed by my music.
That's a beautiful song. You have an incredible voice. I'm Marcus, by the way.
Thank you, Marcus. I'm Alayna. I love to sing, but my family thinks it's just a waste of time.
Your family's wrong. You have real talent. I know people in the music industry in Kingston. I can help you get your music heard.
We started meeting every day, working on my songs. Marcus believed in me when no one else did. He told me about a music competition in Kingston where the winner would get a recording contract. This was my big chance. But one day, Evangeline found out. She was furious and told me to stop dreaming and do my chores. My father didn't defend me.
What is this? Wasting time with foolish dreams again, are we? You belong at home, doing your chores, not gallivanting around with strangers.
Mrs. Evangeline, Alayna is incredibly talented. She deserves a chance to pursue her music.
Nonsense! She belongs at home, doing her chores. Thomas, tell her.
Alayna, you need to listen to your stepmother.
I felt hopeless, but Marcus encouraged me not to give up. He told me we should leave for Kingston right away. I decided to take a leap of faith. I grabbed a few things in a small bag and snuck out to meet Marcus at the bus park. We left the village and went to Kingston. The city was big and exciting, unlike anything I had ever seen.
This is it, Alayna. Sing like you've never sung before.
I entered the competition and sang my heart out. When I finished, the audience applauded and I felt a spark of hope. A few minutes later, I found out I had won the competition. I got a recording contract and started my journey to becoming a star. Marcus and I celebrated this new chapter in my life with pure joy and excitement. After the celebration, I made a firm decision. I would not return to the Blue Mountain. Instead, I would stay in Kingston and pursue my music career. Denied proper schooling and a good education by my father and stepmother, I refused to let them take away the one thing that truly mattered to me, my music. This was my chance to build a life of my own, free from their control and cruelty. I was determined to make the most of it and let my music shine. Years passed, and my music touched hearts far and wide. I became a star, performing for dignitaries and presidents both local and abroad. My songs were a testament to my journey and resilience, reflecting the struggles and triumphs that shaped me. Though successful and far away, I never forgot the mango tree or the village where my dreams had been born. The memories of Blue Mountain remained with me, a reminder of where I came from and the strength it took to follow my dreams. Marcus and I stayed close all these years. He guided me through the music industry, ensuring I had the right team around me and that no one took advantage of me. His support was unwavering, and I trusted his judgment completely. One evening, as I thought about my past and the village I had left behind, I decided to call Marcus to discuss the possibility of returning home. "Marcus," I said when he answered, "I've been thinking about going back to Blue Mountain. Do you think it's a good idea?" There was a pause on the other end of the line before Marcus responded.
Alayna, if you feel it's something you need to do, then I support you. Just remember, you have every right to face your past and find closure. But you don't owe anyone anything. Make sure it's what you truly want.
His words gave me comfort and clarity. I knew that with Marcus by my side, I could face whatever awaited me back in the village. "Thank you, Marcus," I said, feeling a wave of gratitude. "Your wisdom means a lot to me." He chuckled softly.
Anytime, Alayna. Just do what feels right for you.
With Marcus's support, I made my decision. It was time to return to Blue Mountain and confront the past I had left behind. Days later, I went back to the village. I found my father and Evangeline. They were older and seemed different. My half-siblings, Andrew and Marie, had grown up.
Alayna, is it really you? We've missed you.
My father, Thomas, said as I walked closer to the place that almost broke me. As I stood outside the door of the home where I was once a maid, I saw their faces, my father, my stepmother, and my half-siblings, all etched with years of hardship and regret. They began to ask for forgiveness.
We were wrong, Alayna. Can you ever forgive us?
Evangeline stepped forward, her face softened by years of hardship.
We've been suffering for a few years now. We're so glad you're back. Alayna, please, forgive us for the way we treated you.
Marie, tears streaming down her face, knelt before me.
Please, Alayna, forgive us. We were wrong. I'm so sorry for everything.
Andrew stood off to the side, his eyes cast downward, the weight of guilt evident on his face, unable to meet my gaze.
Alayna, my sister, we didn't realize how much we hurt you. We were cruel, and I've regretted it every day since you left.
My father began to speak, his voice trembling.
Alayna, please help us. I've heard you're now successful and your music is doing well. We've been suffering. My business hasn't been doing well, and we can barely feed ourselves these days. Your younger siblings, Marie and Andrew, have been home doing nothing because we can't pay their school fees.
So this is the crossroad I found myself. I want to forgive them, but in my heart, it still hurts to think about all those years. Now they are struggling, and my father, who never protected me, is asking me to help him. Andrew and Marie need money for school. When my father and Evangeline refused to send me to school, I had to fight for my dreams on my own. Now I have the means to help them, but I'm not sure what to do. Do you think I should forgive my father, stepmother, and siblings for how they treated me and help pay for my half-siblings' schooling? So that's my story. What would you have done? If you were in my situation, would you have helped them despite everything that happened?
Alayna's story teaches us about resilience and the power of following our dreams, no matter the obstacles. She faced neglect and mistreatment from her family, but she never gave up on her love for music. Her success shows that the stone that the builder refused can become the head cornerstone. It reminds us that looking down on someone when you're on top is unwise, because life is always changing. Today, you might be on top, but tomorrow you might fall. The story also touches on the idea of forgiveness. Alayna's family, who once treated her poorly, ended up needing her help. Be kind to those you come across in life, because you never know who will be your destiny helper in the future. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more amazing stories.